Hey folks, welcome back to the Field and Garden Podcast. It's Lisa Mason Ziegler, your host, and thanks so much for dropping in here with me. And if we've never met before, welcome aboard. My business is thegardenersworkshop.com, and we're kind of an interesting business. We started out in 1998 as a super small urban farm in the middle of the city on actually my whole property was less than 1.25 acres, including my homes and buildings. And it has grown into so much more. And we kind of ramped up our flower farming business as we were able to purchase an adjoining 1.5 acres, started teaching, lecturing, found that was my greatest gift, was empowering other people to garden and farm. And then in 2005, I launched an online garden shop, and then I got my first book deal, and I wrote my book, Cool Flowers, and then shortly after that wrote the book Vegetables Love Flowers, which is really a 3-season cutting garden book, y'all. And then started creating and producing and publishing for others online courses. So there is like a whole lot of stuff you can fall into over at the Gardener's Workshop. Plus, we have an awesome learning center with both lots of free resources and, of course, our paid online courses that you can purchase. So, friends, we just love growing. We love growing flowers, and we love helping other people to do it, and that's what we're all about. And so here recently, I've just am really carrying the torch for locally grown flowers. And because this pandemic has really created an opportunity for domestic growers. That's what we call the local growers that are selling their flowers normally within less than 100 miles from where they're grown. And that leads to all kinds of good stuff, y'all. Less footprint, better quality, fresher, lasting longer, fragrant, just so much good stuff. So today we are going to listen to the replay of a conversation, or actually a talk that Ellen Frost gave about flower subscriptions. Now, Ellen, if you're not familiar with her, is the owner of a design studio located in Baltimore, Maryland, that only sources locally grown flowers. And she's also one of our instructors. And she is sharing how she implemented, flower subscriptions was one of the first things she did. And then how it evolved through COVID and what she did to enhance that. Y'all, the Loco Flow bucket was born during the pandemic. So Ellen really is taking us through doing it, a flower subscription, and then promoting it. And then we had lots of great questions from farmers as well as others. And so let's take a listen to Ellen with Local Color Flowers.
Thanks, everyone. Well, let me first say that I am by no means an expert in flower subscriptions. I would be happy to share with you how we have incorporated flower subscriptions into our business and why I think it's a great option for any flower business. And then we'll go through some topics that I think are important to think through as you're thinking about having a flower subscription. And then some people did send in some questions, so I can answer those. But yeah, like Jesse said, feel free to ask questions. So we had a flower subscription from early on when we bought our building 10 years ago. As soon as we had a space, we started having a flower subscription. And what it did for us was allow us to provide customers local flowers on a regular basis. It also allowed us to have some steady income that we could plan for. Additionally, steady orders that we could plan for, so we knew how many flowers we needed to buy based on those subscriptions. And flower subscriptions are great for farmers or florists. I think both can use them successfully. And subscriptions are really, because for people that are sourcing local or growing their own flowers, flower subscriptions are great because they really do allow you to show off the seasonality of the flowers in your region. So I know we talked about seasonality last week or 2 weeks ago. Subscriptions are a great way to do that. Um, so you can think about how often you want to have a subscription. So it could be you just want to have it for a season. So if you're growing flowers, maybe you only have flowers in the fall or in the summer. So you want to offer a subscription just for that season. Or you could offer it weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, seasonally. Um, Whatever really works for you. You have to assess sort of your access to flowers, so whether you're growing them or if you're sourcing them locally. So for us, we offer subscriptions year round now. That was not the case. We used to just do it during the growing season, so like May through October. But since I don't know, in the last eight or so years since we have built up our winter growers, we have been able to offer subscriptions year round, which is terrific. So for you all listening, I think just figure out what fits for you, what flowers you have access to and when you have access to them. So the next thing I think about is like, what are you giving the customer? So are you giving them just a bucket of loose flowers? Are you giving them a designed bouquet? Are you giving them a designed vase arrangement? Um, there's lots of ways that you can offer flowers. For us, we offer, well, I'll say pre-COVID. So let's talk first before COVID. We always offered designed wrapped bouquets. So we were trying to differentiate ourselves from the farmers. So lots of our farmers offered CSAs, and those were basically just buckets of flowers that people could take home and do with what they wanted. So we were trying to offer a value added product. So not just a bucket of flowers, but something designed that you could just pop in a vase, and not just pop it in a vase, but it costs more money than what a typical farm CSA cost. When COVID hit, well, we had to adjust to everything. And we figured since people were home, they might want um, they might want something to do besides they might want beautiful flowers, but they might want something to do. So we started offering something called the Loco Flow bucket, which was just a bucket of flowers. It was curated. Um, so it took into account flowers from lots of different farms. Um, and again, to try to differentiate ourselves from the farmers, we added a free design video each week with each bucket. So not only did you get a bucket of flowers, but you got a tutorial on how to make an arrangement in a vase every week. And that was how we differentiated ourselves and added value to our customers. So it's important, I think, to think about what product you want to provide to a customer for your subscription. And right now, because COVID has continued and we have had to continue changing what our business looks like, we do now offer subscription. We offer deliveries for subscription. So you can get a weekly delivery to your house of either a bucket, a wrapped bouquet, or a vase arrangement. And we have about 70 of those right now. And we hope to pick up some more over the holiday season. But yeah, that's we never pictured that would be like a main part of our business. But COVID makes us do things that we didn't picture we would do. Okay, so next thing to think about is, how are people getting the flowers from you? Are they picking them up at your location? Are you dropping them off at some other location, like some other central location, like a coffee shop or a wine shop or a pizza parlor where people can come pick it up? Or are you delivering them? Delivering subscriptions is like a whole nother thing. And I guess one thing to think about is, why you are doing a subscription. If you're trying to make money, delivering them is probably not going to work because you're probably going to lose money on the time that it takes for you to spend delivering those, especially if you're delivering them to individual homes. If you're delivering all of the subscriptions to one place and then people are picking them up, that's different. Um, so there's definitely pros and cons to each of these things. So if people are picking them up at your place, whether it's your shop, your farm, your house, your porch, your backyard, your driveway, um, wherever, um, thinking about like when are they coming? So for us, we used to have like a bunch of options for people to pick up. I think this is the this is the main thing about subscriptions. We have tried lots of things, and what we have found out is fewer options works best. So we used to give people lots of options on when to pick up. You could pick up Saturday morning, you could pick up Wednesday night, you could pick up at a different location on a Tuesday. And what we found is that it was just simpler for us to offer one option. And while that option may not work for all customers, it had to work for us first. If it didn't work for us, it didn't make any sense. So we allowed people to pick up from our shop on times when we were open for retail. So that was Wednesday night, 4 to 7, or Saturday, 8 to noon. And that was it. Um, we could not, it did not make financial sense for us to schedule a staff person or even ourselves to be there at a different time um, just for this. We didn't have enough subscribers. The margins weren't big enough. So we had to combine the pickup with something else. And what we combined it with was our retail hours. Um, if you're dropping them off at someone else's place, think about who you want to partner with, where they're located, how easy it is for people to park, um, things like that. And then I want to just make a note here about um, we about the name of what you're doing. Some people call it a CSA, some people call it a subscription. There's lots of other ways you can call it. We used to call it the pickup for a while, which basically was like you pick up at our shop, the Loco Flow pickup. Um, so we used to call it a CSA, what we did. And for those of you farmers, you probably, and others are probably familiar with community supported agriculture and how that works. So it's basically a way for a customer to pay you in advance for some product that will be available later in the season. So you get money early in the season, maybe in the winter when you don't have a lot of money and you need to buy seeds or other things, and then you provide a product to a customer later in the season when there is abundance. But there was a great article back in 2016 in the New York Times, um, and I think it's called, well, if you search the New York Times CSA article in 2016, it was basically about when should a CSA be called a CSA and when it shouldn't. And they went through sort of the history of CSAs and basically said a CSA really is just farm to customer. There's no middleman, which I would be the middleman as the florist. Um, and that I really shouldn't be calling it a CSA because that's not really what it is. And after reading that article and sort of becoming aware of that issue, we talked to some of our farmers and they agreed with the article that we as florists should not be calling it a CSA. So that's cool. That was when we started calling it the pickup, and now we just call it the Loco Flow subscription. So that's just a note. It's a good article to read, to check it out. So next, thinking about like how do people pay you for this thing? Um, for like a classic CSA model, people pay in advance for a certain number of things. So they give you $200 in January, and you give them $10, $20 bouquets throughout the summer, something like that. And we do as florists, we offer that option, so people can say, I want to send 6 months worth of bouquets and I want to prepay for those. So we let people do that. We also set up auto pay for people by credit card so that they just get charged every week or every month, whenever their subscription is. This seems to make it easier for people, and um, it's certainly less administrative work for us. And that gets me to administrative work. Um, the administration of subscriptions can be really difficult, um, and almost not worth it sometimes um, because you have to have a good way for people to sign up. You have to have a good plan about people changing their dates or cancellations or trying to come on a different day. There can be a lot of email, calling, juggling, um, and that will, I will tell you from experience, make you crazy, make you not want to have a subscription. So as simple as you can make the subscription, the better. And I know one person had a question about, like, what if people want to change their dates? What if they don't show up? For us, we really, for people picking up, we really have just like a no BS policy. If you don't show up, you don't get it. That's it. There's just one time. Well, right now there's only one time you can only pick up. If you don't get it delivered, you can only pick up Saturday 8 to noon. And if you don't come, there's just no other option. We let people know that if they don't come, we will donate their flowers to a local nonprofit or the school around the corner to one of the teachers. But for us, we just have found that after years of trying to make accommodations for people, it was like, okay, sorry you can't come Saturday. I might be in the shop on Monday for an hour. So if you want to come between 10 and 11, come by. And then they wouldn't come, or they'd be late and I would be waiting around. I mean, it was just, everybody's gone through that. So I would try to make the administration of your subscription just as easy as possible. All right, I have a couple questions here, but if you all have questions, you can either text them to Jesse or um, raise your hand and I'll get to them in just a minute. So these are some questions that came in through Instagram this week. One question was, how do you find people to sign up for your subscription? So great question. And here are the things that I have found work for us. One, word of mouth. So tell your friends to tell their friends. Ask 10 friends to post your marketing material on social media. Um, Ask your people at church or at school to tell their friends. It is really just a matter, in that way, word of mouth is telling people and asking them to tell people. Um, Obviously, posting on your own social media is great. And I would say, one time is not enough. Um, you may think that you are saying things over and over and over, but the majority of people on social media are not seeing your posts. So, put it up there a couple times. Um, Next is an email list. I know we have talked about this before. If you don't already have an email list, set it up today. Start today. Excuse me. Um, start getting emails from people and putting together an email list so that you can send out an email to that list and say, hey, we have a flower subscription. Do you want to join in? Hold on one second. I have to. Okay, sorry. Um, as I have said before, an email list is yours. You own it. You have control over it. You can email your people as much or as little as you want. Social media is not ours. We don't own it. And, like we saw last week or 2 weeks ago when Instagram went down, people who used Instagram to communicate directly with their customers really like freaked out because they were like, how am I going to tell my customers what bread is available today to buy or what cupcake flavors are available today to buy? If you don't have an email list, there's no way for you to communicate directly with your customers. So start putting together an email list today and then use that to promote your subscription. Another thing is for holiday gifts. This is for me, this is like a super easy sell. So offering subscriptions as holiday gifts around Christmas time, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, also around Valentine's Day. Um, People these days, don't want a bunch of stuff from Target or Starbucks gift cards. I mean, maybe they want that stuff too, but um, they want to have authentic, special, local, thoughtful gifts, and flower subscription is a great way to do that. So I think offering that. Um, so then somebody asked how to set up a website to have people sign up. I can't really answer this. We created a custom form. My husband is a computer person, so he set up a custom form. But I think you can do. I actually I can't answer it. I don't know. I don't know anything about computers. Um, but you do need a form for people to sign up on. Okay, somebody said, I'm afraid to commit. I'm not sure I'll have enough stuff to provide. So this was a farmer. Yeah, of course. In the beginning, um, that's tricky. So I would say, really, you could really limit the number of CSAs you did. We had a friend who did a CSA, and I think she had 5 people in it, a farmer, just her first year. And that worked great. You can really offer it just really infrequently too, or, it could just be 4 weeks in July or 2 times in July and 2 times in August. Make it really limited. It's okay. And, start with family and friends and have them maybe even give them a discount to start and ask them to promote it when they get it. The other thing you could do is you could team up with another farm, if you're a farmer in this case. We've had farmers do that where if they didn't have enough stuff, they could buy stuff from a neighboring farm to bulk up their CSA if they didn't have enough stuff. Um, so maybe that is a solution. And, like we always are thinking, our subscriptions are full of all kinds of stuff. Like sometimes there's dried things in there, sometimes there's berries, sometimes there's just evergreen foliage. Like it's different every week, and it really is just reflective of what's available. And we are really careful with our customers to manage that expectation. Um, and maybe this gets into another question. Somebody had like, what's the best recipe? Um, and I can't answer that. It sort of depends on what you have access to. We always try for um, focal flower, line flower, um, sort of a supporting flower, filler flower, bits and pieces, foliage. And so, like our $40 bucket that we start, our lowest bucket is $40. So that's about 20 stems. And so we would think about like 3 focals, 3 lines, 3 supporting, 3 bits and pieces, 3 foliage, somewhere around there. So we want to think about like the expectation for us is that this person is going to make a single arrangement with this bucket. So we want to make sure it's like cohesive color wise, it's cohesive with the things we're offering. If we just provided them 20 dahlias, I mean, I'm sure they would love that. But our idea is that you are creating a design. You watched a video, you should watch me make a design, and then you're going to make a design. Um, so I don't know. Best recipes, I guess, just depends on what you have access to. Um, and then somebody asked about the best place to use as a drop-off point. Um, so, right, if you don't want people to pick up at your place, you want them to pick up somewhere else. Some things to think about are like businesses that have shared values with you. So maybe places that sell local stuff, or maybe they have other CSA pickups. Like we have a pizza place, pizza brewery here in Baltimore, and they offer space for a bunch of CSA pickups. So vegetable CSAs, flower CSAs, all kinds of stuff. So that might be a spot. And then, like geographically, think about where your customers are. You don't want to have the pickup spot be like in a neighborhood or a part of town or someplace where your customers really aren't, where it makes it hard for them to get to. So, like, go to find a neighborhood where your people are and then find a spot there. Um, I don't know if hopefully that's helpful. So, okay, that's a lot of talking. I feel like I'm talking really fast. I already had like 3 cups of coffee. So, tell me other questions you guys might have or comments about subscription or CSA situations you've gotten yourself into and see what we can do.
Ellen, I do have one question that came in on the back channel a little bit ago.
Sure.
It's from Anne. Okay, Anne had a follow-up question to something you said earlier. She says, when you say 20 stems in a bucket, what kind of bucket were you talking about?
Oh, yeah, great question, Anne. Well, this is this is uh this is a COVID pivot, if you will. So, like I said before COVID, we only offered wrapped bouquets. And so they were wrapped in craft paper and you walked away with a designed bouquet. But then when COVID hit, and we started this LocoFlow bucket, um, we started just delivering people buckets of flowers. And so the bucket is like a typical farmer black bucket. Um, and for us, we can get those free mostly from Trader Joe's. We also just, they come in and out every week. But it is just um, like a farmer's black bucket. But I know, like my friend Jenny Love, who owns Love and Fresh Flowers, she is doing something similar. I think it's called Porch Petals, where she just drops off a bucket of flowers to people's porches. And I think she gets them from the dollar store. They have like a bunch of different options for buckets. What I would say about like the bucket is that you don't want something that is shaped like a beach pail. Is that even a thing? Like that has like a narrow bottom and a wider top. Especially like leaving it on somebody's porch for delivery. Um, if it's windy, it's just like not as stable. So like a farmer's black bucket or just like a bucket of that size, um, that has maybe like a similarly wide bottom and top, um, I think works great. The one thing I will say about that is that you have to make sure that you have stems that are tall enough to go in that bucket. So definitely during COVID. And then, I know it's sort of still COVID and we are still doing the bucket. We are always asking our farmers when we are buying from them things that are going to go in the bucket if they are more than 12 inches tall, so that we can make sure that stems are not um, sinking down in the bucket. So that's just a note.
Oh, just want to remind everyone that you are able to text me your question if you're not interested in raising your hand and ask a question by clicking the paper airplane icon there at the bottom right of the screen, and that opens up Clubhouse's back channel feature where you can find my name and send me a message if you have a question. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else have questions? I know like all of you listening, not all, but a lot of you are probably doing a subscription, thinking about a subscription. Um, any other questions or any like super success or super failure that you're like, please don't ever do this because it doesn't work?
I have a question about your your current setup, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I You mentioned that you're doing some weekly videos about arranging. Are you still doing those videos? Did you find that people really preferred that over, working on it themselves or perhaps receiving something already arranged?
Certainly during lockdown when people like really just couldn't go out, the videos I think were terrific. Um, because it was like people were doing it with their kids, people were watching it um, every week and learning. Now that people I think are more out and about, I think the video is probably less important. Um, and I would say that we have maybe right now about half of our subscribers that are bucket subscribers and half that are either a vase or a wrapped bouquet. So I guess it depends. There's definitely some people that are like, I don't want to have anything to do with designing my own thing. I just want you to deliver a vase to me every week. Um, and we have both home and businesses that do that. But then we have people that are just like, yeah, they love getting their hands on stuff, and the videos I think are helpful. And we have them all on YouTube so people can go back and watch, like, whatever, a year and a half's worth of videos on there. And you can really, I mean, that's, I guess, another way to like learn about seasonality is you can just watch our videos. They're like 5 minutes each, and I don't know, they're semi entertaining, I guess. Um, so yeah, I think the video was helpful. I think it helped differentiate us. Um, but after like a year and a half, it was like we were sort of feeling like we were repeating ourselves a lot. So we do still do them once in a while, but we often refer people to back to the old ones.
I had a thought as I was thinking through the option of doing a subscription where I might offer a similar type of video, but only do it once a month instead of every time I delivered, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think any value added thing is great. And I think, a monthly video is terrific. And I think you could add in, like, for us, we were really just doing, and we have thought about doing this too. Like every week it was like, here's the bucket, here's what's in here, here's how to make a little arrangement. That's it. Um, and we did think about doing maybe less frequent, but a little more in depth. So, like, maybe like here's a little video of the farmers, here's a little video of where the flowers came from, here's a little more information about the flowers. So yeah, I think monthly would be great.
Okay, I'm not seeing any. Wait, I do. Hold on one second here. Okay, I do have another question from Russ. He says, "What if someone wants to join mid-season? Do you close the sign up at a certain point?"
Oh yeah, good question. Hi, Russ. So we used to do that. We used to close, we used to say, like, you have to sign up, and then the thing is, 6 weeks, and that's it. Um, but then we were like, why? Like, we have access to enough flowers. Why not let people sign up later? Um, so we were pretty flexible in that way. And then when we extended the subscription to like year round, it was like you can sign up whenever you feel like it. So there's no real time frame. So like if you sign up today and you're like, I want it weekly for 2 months, great. Or if you're like, I want it once a month for the next year, great. Um, so I would say, like, figure out administratively if it's difficult for you to add people mid-season or mid subscription time. Um, if you have the flowers and you have the ability to take on more customers, then I would say, it probably makes sense to do that. If it's a pain in the neck to like administer like more people coming on mid session, then maybe do like a couple sessions in a row, like maybe only do 4 week sessions or something like that. So people could sign up for the next 4 week session pretty quickly. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, okay. So then I have one from Amy. She says, "What frequency of subscription do you find is most common for your customers?"
Hi, Amy. Okay, great question. So, when you're starting a business and people are like, imagine your target customer and make like a little emoji of them or a little avatar of them. Uh, our customers are not, they are not a monolith. They fall into different categories. So I would say we have some customers that are affluent, that live in the suburbs, and they really like what we do. They like local flow, they like local flowers. Some of them are garden club ladies. And they get stuff every week, every single week. Um, and thank God for them, because but they basically have kept our business going for the last year and a half. And then we have what I would call like people like me. You're like in your 40s, you're like, you have some money, you're into local stuff, and you like our business. And so maybe you're getting stuff like biweekly or monthly. And then we have people that are like, young people that are not like, they don't have a lot of disposable income, but they really are into this service. And then they'll get like monthly stuff. So for sure, our weekly people are like the smallest group. We probably, of the 70 subscribers we have, maybe, I don't know, 10 to 15 are weekly. We have probably, I don't know, of the 70, 30 are biweekly, and then maybe 20 are monthly. So that's sort of our breakdown. Um, so maybe it sort of depends, like how you're, when you're thinking about what to offer, is like who your people are. Um, and for us, it made sense just to offer those different options because our customers really are not all one type of person.
Right, right. And I think, as people start to go out into their groups of folks that they've already gathered, they may find the same thing, that some people are really excited about a weekly subscription and some people are more interested in a biweekly and that kind of thing. And of course, that's harder to manage,
Yes.
logistically, but if you can offer it, that's great.
Yeah, we
So,
definitely did not start that way. I mean, we have sort of built up to that sort of flexibility. Um, so, don't feel pressure to like offer every option. Like I said, fewer options are better. We just, because of COVID, we really had to, like, subscriptions were one of the only things we could do. We couldn't really do, I mean, weddings were shot. We couldn't really do stuff in the shop, like design classes or events or anything like that. So, we really had to maximize what we were offering for subscriptions so that, I mean, so basically we could just like stay in business.
right. Okay. So I have another question here. Anne's wondering about how much of your business is currently from subscriptions, if you know.
Well, pre-COVID, it was about 20%. And that included the local flow pickup, which was our like CSA model kind of thing. Before COVID, we did not deliver subscriptions except to businesses. So if you wanted a subscription, you just picked up. And before COVID, it was about 20%. Now it is probably, gosh, for subscriptions, and if I separate that out from single orders, even though we kind of in our minds lump those things together, but the subscriptions themselves are probably 30 to 40% of what we do. So like right now, like 2021, weddings are back. So weddings, take up probably another 40% of what we're doing. Um, and then single orders. And that's pretty much all we're doing. We're not doing any classes, like in-person classes. We started doing retail again in July, but that's only like 4 hours a week. So it's just one day a week, Saturday mornings. Um, so I know we have a weird model. But subscriptions, I would say, yeah, are about 30 to 40% of what we're doing right now. And I can't really say if that's going to continue. This has been such like a weird last 2 years of like basically redesigning our entire business. So we're definitely thinking deeply about, I mean, probably everybody is, about what to keep and what to get rid of or what to change in the business in the coming year. Um, so I don't know how, so I don't know how it'll shake out for subscriptions. We'll see.
Okay, I think I have one here. Let's see. Charlotte says, is there a difference in price between a designed and a wrapped bouquet and a bucket with an accompanying video?
Yeah, yeah, great question. Um, so we offer like a starting point of $40. So a $40 bucket, a $40 wrap bouquet, and a $40 vase arrangement. Um, you get the most flowers with the bucket at $40. You get a little less flowers in the wrapped bouquet because we have to spend time designing it. And you get um, even less flowers in the $40 vase because you're getting a vase and we have to design it. So the price point is the same. It's just what you get for $40 is different. And so again, your customer, because our customers are all different, some want more flowers and they're not designed. Some want a little less flowers, but they're designed and ready to go. And then for us, our subscriptions just go up like 40, 50, 60. That's not true. Yeah, I mean, yes, essentially it's true. 40 and then up. And nobody really gets a subscription. I think our biggest vase arrangement subscription is $125, and that's a monthly order. So nothing is really more than that for subscriptions. Some people order single orders that are bigger than that, but for subscriptions, it's basically like 40 to 100 is like our regular prices.
Nice. I like the idea of making it easy for people that it's the same price across the board and just choose the type of thing that you want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, I am through all of the questions on the back channel. Did anyone raise their hand?
Anyone else have a question for me today? Anyone?
And of course, takes conversations both on her Instagram account and on the Facebook group that we've developed called Florist Buying Local. Either place is a good place, and you can also, I think Ellen loves it when people DM her as well.
Yep, you can find me on all the social media channels. I'm happy to answer questions. Happy to connect, either on the Local Flow Instagram or on the Florist Buying Local Instagram or Facebook. All right, so friends, and if you want to just reach out and say like, hey, I'm going to start a subscription, or hey, I have a subscription, like, let me know. I'd love to hear that. All right, so I hope everybody has a great weekend. We will be back here on Tuesday. I know this is Friday, and so Tuesday is just a few days away. And then just a reminder that registration opens for the class next Friday. If anybody's interested in growing your business with local flower sourcing, you can reach out and ask me any questions. All right, everyone. I hope you have a good weekend. If you have, weddings and events, good luck. If you're cleaning up flower beds, good luck. And if you're laying on the couch watching Netflix, hooray for you. Everybody have a great weekend.
Thanks, Ellen. Thanks, everyone.
Sometimes, because, I did subscriptions for a really long time, many years, like 20 years. And it never occurred to me to offer different types of subscriptions, meaning how she offers a wrapped bouquet, an arranged bouquet, or just in a bucket. We've done just in a bucket. But I'm thinking, what about the upsale of the wrapped for those people that want to gift their bouquets? Y'all, Ellen brings a lot of extra meat to the table for those of us, whether you're a flower farmer, a florist, flower shop owner, whatever you have. So if you want to learn more about Ellen and her course and her business, I will put all of the links right below the show notes for you to click on over. I highly recommend that you follow her on Instagram, but also she is the face behind Florist Buying Local on Instagram. And she is really she's really trying to demonstrate to those people that just aren't sure about local, whether you can really get good flowers and what they look like. And I mean, Ellen sources year round from Baltimore, Maryland, from local growers, y'all. It's pretty fascinating. So her course typically goes on sale or enrolls in the 1st of November, and then the class actually starts in January for 6 weeks. And you can go check out her page, and if it's not enrolling currently, then you can sign up to get on her wait list. And what that means is whenever Ellen creates one of these great resource things, you'll automatically receive it, as well as we'll give you emails when enrollment actually opens. So friends, thanks for listening, and I hope it helped you as it helped me a little bit. And until we meet again, ciao.